The group chat explodes at 6:47 a.m. My mother's message appears first. Did you see the news? Followed by a screenshot from Forbes. Then my father. Then my sisters. Then aunts and uncles I haven't spoken to in years, suddenly very interested in my life. The headline reads, Introducing Sophia Reeves, tech entrepreneur takes over family's $1.2 billion real estate empire. That's my wife. My name is James. I'm 31. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. I'm sitting in our kitchen. Well, her kitchen, though I'm still getting used to saying ours, with black coffee that's gone cold. The morning light is soft through the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlook the city. From up here, everything looks small. Manageable. The people who spent yesterday mocking her are probably still asleep, unaware that their entire understanding of my life just shifted. She comes down the stairs in that oversized sweater she sleeps in, her dark hair messy, and she's still more beautiful than she was yesterday in the wedding dress. She's scrolling through her phone, reading the article her team released at exactly the moment my family would start their day. You ready? She asks me. I think about my mother's face at the rehearsal dinner, the pinched disappointment when Sophia ordered water instead of wine. The way my father's eyes had scanned her dress, pricing it, finding it wanting. My sister Jessica's comment, at least she has a good personality. Like that was charity. Yeah, I say. I'm ready. Sophia sits down beside me and takes my hand. Her fingers are warm, steady. No tremor of doubt or cruelty. Just certainty. They're going to call, she says. All of them. Within the hour. She's right. Because they didn't just mock my wife yesterday. They mocked a billionaire. The first call comes at 7:12 a.m. My mother. I let it ring twice before answering. James, honey, we didn't know. Her voice is different now. Softer. Desperate in a way I've never heard. Didn't know what? I ask. Not angry. Just curious. Clinical. That she was. I mean, the article says she's taking over Reeves Holdings. That's her family company? Why didn't you tell us? Because you didn't ask, I think. You asked where she worked once, and when she said real estate, you nodded like she'd said retail. You made assumptions. You chose contempt. She wanted to keep it private, I say. Professional reasons. Well, of course that makes sense. Very smart. Very smart woman. My mother is scrambling now, I can hear it. Recalibrating. We'd love to have you both over for dinner. So, this weekend? I look at Sophia. She's sipping her coffee, watching me with those dark eyes that miss nothing. I'll check with my wife's schedule, I say, using the word deliberately. My wife. Not Sophia. Not her. The title that makes it real. By 8:30, I fielded calls from my father, both sisters, and 3 cousins. Each one starts the same way, shock, then immediate pivoting. Suddenly I'm the golden child again. Suddenly my choices are validated. Suddenly my wife isn't a downgrade, she's a catch. A success story. They're already planning how to use this. I can hear it underneath their congratulations. The mental calculations about connections, about proximity to wealth, about what they can gain. Sophia's phone rings constantly. Her team. Her lawyers. Business associates. She handles each call with the same unflappable grace, her voice crisp and professional. She doesn't gloat. Doesn't celebrate. She's simply operating at a level they've never existed on. Between calls, she touches my shoulder. You okay? I'm more than okay. I'm finally seeing my family for exactly what they are. And they have no idea what's coming. The invitation arrives by courier on Wednesday. Embossed cardstock. A gala next month, one of the city's most prestigious charity events. Sophia's company is the primary sponsor. My mother's name is on the RSVP list. So are my father's, my sister's, aunts, uncles, cousins. They want to be seen with us now. Sophia leaves the invitation on the marble counter, and we both stare at it like it's a living thing. You don't have to go, she says quietly. You don't owe them anything. But that's the thing, I do owe them something. Not forgiveness. Not reconciliation. I owe them a front row seat to what they threw away. My mother calls that night. Her voice is different again, practiced now like she's been rehearsing. Sweetheart, I've been thinking about what happened at the wedding and I want to apologize. I was judgmental. I made assumptions. I wasn't my best self. The apology is real enough, but it's built on the wrong foundation. She's not sorry she hurt me. She's sorry she was wrong about my wife's net worth. There's a difference and we both know it. Thank you, I say anyway. We'd love to have you both for brunch this Sunday. Nothing fancy. Just family. Just family. The word tastes like copper. I tell her we'll try to make it, knowing we won't. Sophia has a meeting with her board. A real one. A significant one. The kind of thing that matters. After I hang up, Sophia wraps her arms around me from behind. They're going to keep pushing, she says into my shoulder. They're going to pretend the past didn't happen. They're going to try to fold us back into the narrative like nothing changed. I know. And you're going to let them think it's working, she continues. Until the gala. I turn to face her. What happens at the gala? She smiles, not unkind but precise. Surgical. You'll see, she says. And I realize then that this isn't just my revenge anymore. It's ours. The week before the gala, Sophia's assistant delivers a garment bag to our bedroom. Inside is a tuxedo, custom obviously. Italian silk. The kind of thing that costs more than my first car. There's a note in Sophia's handwriting. For my husband. Wear it with your head high. I try it on. The fit is perfect. Of course it is. Sophia doesn't do anything halfway. My mother calls 3 times that week. Each call is a variation on the same theme. Excitement about seeing us, questions about what we're wearing, hints about how proud she is of me now. The subtext is always the same. Now that you're attached to something valuable, we value you. Friday night, I'm at my office, a small consulting firm I started 5 years ago, when my father walks in without calling ahead. James, he says, extending his hand like we're business associates. I shake it. His palm is clammy. I wanted to talk to you man to man, he begins. About the past. About how I handled things. He's rehearsed this too. I can see the preparation behind his eyes. What about it? I ask. I wasn't supportive. I made judgments based on surface-level observations. And I regret that. I'm sorry. It's the most vulnerable I've ever seen my father. And it changes nothing. Because his apology isn't about me. It's about the fear that he might be excluded from whatever comes next. That his son, now married to a billionaire, might not have room for him in his new life. Dad, it's fine. Water under the bridge. His relief is palpable. He thinks I've forgiven him. He thinks we're moving forward. He has no idea that Sophia has been making calls of her own. That every contact in my father's business network, the ones he bragged about for years, has been quietly informed about certain financial irregularities. Nothing illegal. Nothing provable. Just whispers. The kind that spread. By Monday, my father's business is hemorrhaging clients. He doesn't know it yet. But he will. The day of the gala, my mother sends a message. Can't wait to see you both tonight. We're so proud of you, James. The word proud sits wrong. They weren't proud when I married Sophia. They were ashamed. They were mocking her in a group chat. They were calculating her worth based on her dress and her job title. Now they're proud because she's worth $1.2 billion. Sophia spends the afternoon at the spa. When she comes back, she's radiant in a way that has nothing to do with manicures or facials. It's the glow of someone about to execute a perfect plan. Her dress is black, simple, elegant, understated in a way that screams wealth. No logos. No flash. Just quality. Just confidence. She looks at me in the mirror as I adjust my tie. Ready? She asks. For what, exactly? For them to finally see you, she says. Really see you. The gala is at the Meridian Hotel, the city's most exclusive venue. The ballroom is already crowded when we arrive. Politicians, CEOs, philanthropists. Sophia moves through the crowd like she owns it because she essentially does. Her company's logo is on every banner. Her name is in the program as the keynote speaker. My family is clustered near the bar, dressed in their finest, trying very hard to look like they belong here. My mother sees us first. Her face transforms, that calculated smile, the one that's been perfected over decades of social climbing. She moves toward us, my father trailing behind, my sisters flanking like bodyguards. There you are, my mother exclaims, air-kissing Sophia's cheek. You look absolutely stunning. Doesn't she look stunning, everyone? Sophia accepts the compliment with a nod. Thank you for coming tonight. We wouldn't miss it, my father says, his voice already strained. He's gotten the news about his business. I can see it in the tightness around his eyes. Actually, James, can we talk for a moment? Privately? Sophia squeezes my hand. Go, she says. I need to prepare for my speech anyway. I follow my father to a quieter corner of the ballroom. His hands are shaking slightly as he orders a drink. My business is falling apart, he says without preamble. Clients are leaving. No one will tell me why. Do you know anything about this? I look at him, really look at him, and I see a man built entirely on the approval of others. A man who raised a son to believe that worth was determined by external validation. No, I lie smoothly. But maybe it's time to examine why people were really there in the first place. His face goes pale. Behind us the lights dim. Sophia takes the stage. The spotlight finds her like it was always meant to. Sophia stands at the podium, composed, powerful. The room quiets instinctively. "Good evening," she begins. Her voice carries perfectly. "Tonight I want to talk about family. About the assumptions we make. About the judgments we pass based on incomplete information." My mother's hand finds my father's arm. She senses something is coming. "I grew up in this industry," Sophia continues. "Watching my parents build something from nothing. Watching them understand that real wealth isn't about display, it's about substance. About knowing your worth regardless of who validates it." She pauses. Her eyes scan the crowd until they find me. Deliberately. Meaningfully. 6 months ago I married the man I love. And on our wedding day his family made certain assumptions about me. They judged my value based on surface observations. They mocked me in a private conversation they thought was private. The room shifts. People are leaning forward now. This isn't a typical gala speech. "But here's what they didn't understand," Sophia says, her voice steady as steel. "Their judgment was irrelevant. My worth wasn't determined by their approval then, and it isn't now. What mattered was that their son, my husband, chose me anyway. He chose love over family pressure. He chose integrity over comfort." She smiles at me. Not sweetly. Proudly. "So tonight I'm announcing a new initiative. The Reeves Foundation is establishing scholarships for students whose families have underestimated them. For people who were told they weren't enough. For people who had to prove their worth to the people who should have believed in them unconditionally." The applause is thunderous. But my family isn't clapping. My mother's face is white. My father is staring at his drink like it might contain answers. My sister Jessica is frantically texting, probably trying to figure out if this was about them. It was. After the speech, people swarmed Sophia. Congratulations. Accolades. Investment opportunities. My family hovers at the periphery trying to catch her eye, trying to salvage something. She doesn't acknowledge them. Instead, she takes my hand and leads me to the dance floor. The orchestra begins a slow waltz. We move together like we're alone in the room, and maybe we are. "Was that enough?" she whispers. I think about my father's business crumbling. My mother's calculated smile cracking. The public humiliation of being excluded from a narrative they thought they controlled. "No," I say. And I feel her smile against my shoulder. Because the best revenge, we both understand now, isn't what happens tonight. It's everything that comes after. 3 weeks later, my father files for bankruptcy. His business partner, someone he trusted for 20 years, quietly distances himself. The whispers I'd helped plant have grown into something undeniable. Not because they're true, but because perception is a currency, and Sophia's company controls the exchange rate in this city. My mother stops calling. Jessica sends a text. "Can we talk?" I feel like there's been a misunderstanding. I don't respond. There's no misunderstanding. There's just clarity. Sophia and I are in our penthouse when the real estate section of the Times publishes a feature on her acquisition strategy. The article mentions, almost in passing, that she's been quietly buying up commercial properties in the neighborhoods where my family's social circle operates. Restaurants they frequent. Office buildings where they do business. She's not forcing anyone out, not yet. But she's positioned herself as a silent landlord, a presence they can't avoid. Is this necessary? I ask her one evening. We're on the terrace, city lights spread below us like offerings. She's reading quarterly reports, her face illuminated by her laptop screen. "No," she says honestly. "But it's effective. They're suffering. They chose to," she replies without looking up. "They chose judgment over curiosity. Mockery over kindness. I'm just holding up a mirror." I sit beside her. The silk of her robe catches the light. Everything about her is calculated grace. "My mother asked my assistant if we'd consider coming to Thanksgiving," Sophia continues. "Did you know that?" I didn't. "What did you tell her?" "That we'd think about it." Sophia finally closes her laptop and looks at me. "But here's the thing, James. We don't have to go. We don't have to pretend. We don't have to perform forgiveness we don't feel. Then why are you still doing this?" I gesture vaguely at the city. The real estate. The whispers. The calculated destruction. She's quiet for a long moment. "Because," she says finally, "someone needs to teach them that actions have weight. That betrayal isn't forgiven just because it becomes inconvenient for the betrayer." I understand then that this isn't about me anymore. Maybe it never was. This is about Sophia. About a woman who built an empire while people like my family were deciding she wasn't worth their time. This is about her proving, systematically and elegantly, that their judgment was irrelevant. But as I watch her face in the city light, I wonder if we've become the thing we despised. If revenge, no matter how justified, can ever leave us clean. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a coffee shop, not one of ours, just a small place in a neighborhood Sophia hasn't acquired yet, when my mother walks in. She looks smaller than I remember. Older. Her hair has more gray. She orders a cappuccino with trembling hands. I don't hide. I let her see me. She approaches slowly like I might bolt. James? Mom? She sits without asking permission. I know I don't deserve this conversation. I know I forfeited that right on your wedding day. I don't contradict her. Your father lost everything, she continues. The business, most of our savings. He's broken. And I've spent 6 months trying to understand how we got here, and I finally realized, we did this. We chose this the moment we decided your wife wasn't good enough. She wraps her hands around the cappuccino, seeking warmth that isn't there. I came to apologize. Not because I'm afraid of your wife's power, but because I'm your mother and I failed you when it mattered most. I chose my own pride over your happiness. And I'm sorry, James. I'm genuinely sorry. The words are real. I can hear the years of reflection in them, the nights she spent understanding exactly what she lost. But they don't fix anything. I know, I say gently. And I forgive you. But forgiveness isn't the same as trust. It's not the same as going back. She nods, accepting this. What about Sophia? Is there any way? No, I say. She's done what she needed to do. Now we all have to live with the consequences. My mother finishes her coffee in silence. Before she leaves, she touches my hand. I'm proud of you, she says. I always was. I just forgot how to show it in ways that mattered. After she leaves, I sit alone with my thoughts. The truth is, I'm not sure if Sophia and I won. I'm not sure if destroying my family's financial security taught them the lesson we intended, or just created new pain. I'm not sure if revenge, no matter how elegantly executed, ever truly satisfies the hunger that drove us to it. What I do know is this: Sophia saved me from a family that would have hollowed me out. She showed me what self-worth looks like when it's not dependent on anyone's approval. And yes, she destroyed them in the process. But sometimes the price of freedom is someone else's ruin. I walk home through the city, past buildings with Sophia's company name on them, past neighborhoods reshaped by her quiet acquisitions. And I think about my mother's broken voice, my father's bankruptcy, my sister's carefully crafted texts asking for forgiveness. They hurt now. But they're alive. They're learning. They're understanding finally that the world doesn't owe them grace. That night, Sophia is waiting on the terrace, city lights glowing below us like a kingdom conquered. Your mother came to see you, she says. It's not a question. Yes. And I think we're done, I say quietly. I think we've proven what we needed to prove. She's silent for a long moment. Then she takes my hand and we stand together watching the city breathe below us, a monument to what we've built and everything we've destroyed in the building. What happens now, she asks. I think about forgiveness without forgetting. About moving forward without looking back. About becoming something other than the people we were when we arrived at that restaurant. Now, I say, we learn how to live with what we've done.